Hello everyone and welcome to episode 34 of What If Civilization Started Over. Last episode we saw Carthage going around to their southern neighbors and stealing the entire treasury of Senegal and the Guinea country, worsening relations with Nigeria a lot, which were previous close allies but are now slightly negative because they invaded these two nations, so that's not that great. And we also saw Thailand starting an invasion of this blue country, which is not this blue country, and we're actually going to see the conclusion to that as the forces of Thailand manage to finally break through the city and capture it, and then they surrender over, and it is full annexation, making Thailand have a lot of land in northern India, which is not that liked by the other North Indians. And they have said that any other invasion of an Indian nation, that all of North India, which includes this one, these nations will all declare war on Southeast Asia if they go any more into India. And also, this one has randomly said that they'll help, but they can't really. That one is also pretty far away. But yeah, that happens. So Southeast Asia is kind of stuck, or they can gamble and think they can actually win against all these countries, and hope not other Indian nations might join in. But the chance that other Indian nations are going to join in is pretty slim because they're kind of like dealing with themselves right now. Because this blue Indian nation, which has been expanding a lot lately, has started an invasion of this red Indian nation, and again completely destroys them. And they will take about 2/3 of the nation, as the rest will get snagged up by Orange India. And this is no longer a capital. So yeah, Blue India is growing really fast. Going over to a different place, let's look back in the Americas, as colonies are going to expand again. We see that the growth of the Mexican colony has kind of slowed down lately, as they only expand up to this river in the west, and they won't even expand in the east. Now looking something like this, but I will give them like a little bit of land over here. Something like this. And the Provence colony has expanded quite a bit, even managing to go all the way up to this river, or lake, it's not a river. Now looking something like this. And the Andalusian colony has slowed down a bit in its growth because this land is a lot less fertile than the land they had before. So there's a lot of less people are moving over here, and the moving is how they kind of expand. So their new borders are going to look something like this, and over here in the Hudson Bay, it's going to look something like this. And it will also take over this island. And that's the expansion in North America, as no one else expands anymore, except for Green France. They'll make a colony over here in eastern Canada, kind of to the annoyance of the Scandinavian country because they kind of failed to make a colony there. But it's Green France putting a lot more effort into putting a colony here now, and also uh, this area is now contested between Provence and the Rhine country about who's gonna get it. So yeah, that's a thing. Then over here, Green France is actually putting in a lot of effort to get this area for themselves, and it's actually working really well because they're the only one who don't have their own like big colony yet. So they're planning to make the southern Brazil their big colony because Andalusia is this one, Provence is this one, Rhine-Country is this one. Provence actually has two, and yeah, the North Sea Union doesn't have one, but that's kind of not their thing. And Green France will actually start their own invasion of the Nigerian colony. It's probably very hard to see this, but this is an invasion. And they're actually just going to occupy it and then annex it so that they own all of this because they're really gunning for getting this part of Brazil for themselves. And I'm gonna give them even more land. Like this happen a bit off screen, I guess. Like they've been growing a lot. This is now the new fastest growing, like physically fastest growing colony. And it now looks something like this. But two more colonial things are gonna happen as the Rhine country is going to move again. But this time it's not direct annexation. As they're actually going to puppet or basically like take control, but not like direct control over the Cape country. Yes, the first Europeans in Africa have landed, and it's probably not great for the rest because the Rhine country also makes a landing over here in Madagascar. As the Rhine country is now gunning to actually take and make another route to Asia, which and Anatolia has blocked. Speaking about Anatolia, they are facing more problems as Mesopotamian rebels have popped up all across Mesopotamia, uh, in in this big city for starters, and also here in the old capital of the Crescent Empire, and also over here in this other very big city in Mesopotamia, as they've spread out all over. Also here in the mountains, which is going to be hard to invade. As we see them now starting their invasion of the other Mesopotamian areas and quickly taking over all these areas in between, even capturing this major city, as they do very well. However, this area in the capital city where a lot of state troops have been stationed by Anatolia, it does get taken over. But this area, they are doing pretty well in this area as they take over a lot of the mountain ranges over here. But they don't manage to meet up just yet because the Anatolian forces managed to take back this city and push back really hard, going around this lake. And managing to capture over this entire area. As maybe again, after the Second Turanian Rebellion, it shows that Anatolia knows what they're doing, and even though they're getting a lot of rebellions, they've managed to deal with every single one. But however, this part they managed to gain a lot more land over here, as another rebellion pops up over here along this river, which helps them gain a lot more land, as they even managed to capture this major city also. As this looks like a repeat of the War for the Mediterranean, as this part also expands a lot more into the mountains, being just an annoyance for the supply lines of Anatolia. As over here they do manage to take back some land, but they will lose some land over here. Like so. this is becoming a real bloody battle for Mesopotamia. This part is just doing pretty good as they like now completely facilitating themselves in the mountains and they're just being annoyed to the supply lines. This pocket also gets captured. That's the wrong color. Like that. No, like that. As it's uncertain if one legion will be enough for Anatolia, so they sent over another legion, which will hit back over here and do a lot of damage. They don't manage to capture this major city, which is uh, shows how difficult this rebellion will be. But they do manage to push in pretty hard over here and go around the major city, capturing this lake thing, and even manage to siege the major city and push back this part very hard. As maybe again, Anatolia will break down the rebellion in a very harsh way, as the Anatolian forces managed to just overrun this city over here, which is bigger than the city. I know it's just shown on the map, but this one is actually bigger. As the Mesopotamian rebellion is being pushed back very hard, as now there's now 3 legions over here. One of them over here. One of them is just trying to deal with this mountain rebellion, and the other one is hitting this part from the back. As this rebellion is being overrun, and eventually this city eventually gets overrun, but in like a year, and in that time this city also falls. And at that point, all of these get taken back, and they just leave this rebellion over here for now because like they can't really stop it because like they're stuck in the mountains and they don't have the time, and they're scared if they like really focusing on this that they're gonna have problems somewhere else, so they're just keeping this here. They aren't really being a nuisance anymore, so they're just keeping it here until they can really focus on it. To a different place, Carthage now with this extra money from stealing from their allies, they're still investing it into their navy because the navy is the only thing they have, and they're scared that if they don't have a strong navy, uh, then like strong Provence is going to like beat up Carthage because of it. Because if they get the chance, they will. That's what Carthage thinks at least. But in so they basically blew out all the treasure they stole into their navy, and one part of the country just has enough and is going to break away, which is going to be the Balkan part. I just need to find a good color. That's a good color, yeah. I think maybe something like this. No. Yeah, something like that. Could be good. With their capital being over here. No, I don't like the color. Oh, what do I do? Um, don't like the color. Maybe, no, it's too similar. I think just like this. No, 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 no. Let's just go with something like this. Does it look good? Yeah. So yeah. Um. Uh. Albania. Will break away from Carthage because they're basically getting no money and Carthage isn't really stopping them. Uh. And Carthage is broke again. Um. And then after they're basically broken because they put everything in the navy, something horrific happens as like a huge storm over here. Will hit like half of Carthaginia's navy and sink it. So Carthage just lost half of its navy when after putting all of their money into it. And Carthage is now facing a lot of instability as these Italian places are like ready to break away. Provence is actually after hearing about this is actually planning to do something about Carthage. So maybe Carthage's scares were actually real because it may actually happen. So yeah, Carthage is not doing too well. As also this island belongs to uh, Andalusia. So yeah, Carthage not doing great. Moving over to the other side of North Africa, Egypt is finally moving again, and they're not invading Libya; they're invading Sudan. Why did I? As they try to capture city and actually succeed, and then try to immediately go for the capital. But Sudan actually manages to catch them off guard and win the battle over here, pushing them back a lot. As they actually, with some desert forces, actually managed to make their own incursion into Egypt. As they go along the coast and actually get really far uh, into Egypt, actually managed to catch up back onto the Nile over here. I know this seems kind of crazy, but like they didn't get noticed all the way over here. As they start ravaging the Nile and even overrun this major city. As they meet up with like the third biggest city in Egypt. Egypt's front does it isn't really doing too well as they do manage to like slightly push back Sudan over here and go along the Nile over here. But with these new resources that they got, they actually managed to start a siege over this major city and continue along the Nile on, and meet up with the second biggest city in Egypt. Um, and try to take it. As they also the half of their forces go down and basically collapse the front lines of Egypt as they're now stuck over here. Also, did Paris get taken over back over? As Egypt is actually doing really bad in this war, as this the major city gets taken back over, and all of their forces are either killed, captured, sold into slavery, uh, or recruited into the Sudanese army for like a small sum of cash to like basically switch sides. And with that new money, they travel back across the Nile, and in that time, they managed to capture this major city and this major city. As they continue with these also new Egyptian forces, a lot of Egyptian forces actually, like a third of the Egyptian army that was over here, uh, went over to the Sudanese army. As they now meet up with the biggest city in Egypt. But before they can do that, the Egyptian leader, which is also the leader of the Egyptian of like the Nile religion, like the total Nile religion. These are just these two are like no like high families in the religion which rule these nations. That he will actually surrender because he knows he has lost this war. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. And this is going to be the peace treaty of the war between Egypt and Sudan, with a surprise victories for Sudan, with Egypt becoming the smallest it has ever been. What are you doing, Egypt? Like you used to extend all the way down to Lake Victoria. What happened? Now you are the smallest of the three Egyptian nations. Just just how the grades have fallen. Now onto a different colonial scene in Southeast Asia. A surprising attack from this green country into the uh, uh, Thailand colony of Java actually goes really well. There's basically no forces over here as they're like now on the now all in Bengal or the Chinese front or even the Philippines, and none, basically none are in Java, as they completely destroy the little troops that are here. I managed to take the entire thing, as Thailand loses land for like in the first time ever, as this country also takes over the rest of Java and Bali. Uh, and this country over here also managed to expand greatly, in fear that if they don't consolidate enough, they'll get swallowed up by Thailand. So like a lot of the tribes around them, they willingly joined them in fear basically. So that happens, and over here they do meet up with the border of this new Borneo country, and they also take over these islands over here. And in the last event of this video, Korea tells its Tokyo ally to start an invasion of the other Japanese country. They won't directly join the war, but they will support them, as Tokyo agrees and goes to war with this country, with some forces of Korea, but not a lot. But Tokyo should be already slightly stronger than this country, but to their surprise, uh, Tokyo is facing a lot of problems here, and their capital almost gets threatened immediately by these guys, as they do not get what is going on, as there's a lot more troops on this front than they thought there should be, as the Tokyo capital gets taken, and finally the news gets out that Chinese armies are present in Tokyo right now, and they're completely overrunning the Tokyo country, and Korea is pissed. Japan should be in the influence of Korea, not China. So what are Chinese troops doing here in northern Japan and completely overrunning their ally, they are completely overrunning their ally, and Korea is threatening war over this, and South China just laughs at this, saying bring it. Like, South China is ready for a war with Korea. They are done with them owning so much land, so much of the coast in China. Uh, as Tokyo is getting completely overrun, and even Kyoto will get sieged, and at this point they will surrender over to North Japan. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. This is going to be the peace treaty of the Japanese War, with oh with the alliance between Korea and Tokyo being destroyed forcefully by China. And actually, yeah, no, I think this looks good. With Kyoto being the new capital of the Green Japanese country, and North Japanese country now owning Tokyo and a lot of valuable land here in the south. But that is going to do it for today's episode. Hope you all enjoyed, and let's get on to the power rankings. Uh, well, that's the wrong layer. What did I do? Okay, so let's get on to the power rankings. If I have the right colors. So at number 1 is still Anatolian Empire. At number 2 is still uh, Thailand. At number 3 is Provence. At number 4A is Korea, and at number for B is South China. They are basically the same strength right now. At number 5, who did I put at number 5? 4. Oh, no, you were number 5. At number 6, oh, at number 5 is the Rhine country. At number 6 is Andalusia. At number 7, it's the North Sea Union. At number 8 is the Volga country. At number 9 is Green France. And at number 10, Carthage isn't even in number 10 right now. That's the thing. Would they be number 10? I don't know. Is Blue India? They've grown a lot. So yeah, these are going to be the new power rankings. But India finally back in the power rankings after so long. And I might do some more things that I probably should have done in this episode, but I didn't. Just some things that happen also is that this country invades this brown country and steals a little bit of land from here. They just do that. And one other thing happens in this episode, which was supposed to happen, but I forgot to do. What was it again? I forgot. Damn, I forgot. I forgot what was supposed to happen. Well, that's too bad, but yeah, this happens. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please like, and if you haven't already, subscribe if you want to see more. Good boy.